G'day guys. Now, last year in preparation for our South Australian Outback Adventure road trip where we went through the Flinders Ranges and up the Unadilla track and across the Simpson Desert, I did a few things to the car to get it ready to go. One of the things I did was put some USB chargers in the back passenger doors. This would be so that the girls would be able to charge their iPads and their iPhones and everything while we're on the road. Now in the film we made from that trip, I just touched on it very briefly as part of the trip preparation at the start, but I didn't get down to the nitty-gritty of how I actually did it. I had a message recently from one of our subscribers on Facebook asking if I could show a video of actually how I did that. Now it turns out that I did film the whole process at the time, and I thought one day I'll go ahead and make a YouTube video out of that, and today's the day. So this morning I've been quickly editing all that together. I put it together in a bit of a how-to, shows you the step-by-step of how I put it all together. Because frankly, having USB chargers in the back doors is a pretty good thing. Probably standard in most new cars these days, but 25, 26 years ago when this thing was made, USB hadn't even been invented yet. So it's something, if we want it, we're going to go and add it ourselves. So now this is also part of a larger project which I've called Project80. And I started working on that early last year, which is basically my mission to convert this aging, tired old Land Cruiser into the ultimate budget touring family vehicle. And I set myself a goal that for a total expenditure of $20,000, including the value of the vehicle, which I put at a nominal $12,000, I would turn this into basically the ultimate road tripper on a $20,000 budget. And it's work in progress, it's not finished yet. I did quite a few things last year, and this year I plan to do a lot more, probably get it finished by the end of this year. And I'm going to make some more videos as we go, talking about the nuts and bolts of how I've done that. So anyway, we'll get to that later on, but for now, sit back and watch how we install USB chargers in the back doors. When we're travelling on road trips, the girls like to sit there and play on their iPad, watch movies, play games, things like that. And inevitably we end up with cables coming through to the front of the car as everyone's trying to charge their devices. So I thought, well, I'll grab these USB chargers. I got them off eBay. They're about 30 bucks for two of them. They're a dual USB charger, you see that? And it's got 2.1 amps, which will charge an iPad, and 1 amp for an iPhone, so they could literally be charging two at once there. Now we can't see it now, but when it's got power on it, it's actually got a little voltmeter there that's telling how much power is in the battery, the car battery. Now I figured there's power in the door because we've got power windows and we've got power locks, so I should be able to just tap into that somewhere behind the door. I don't want to go through the panel here to mount them because it's all steel behind that, and that's just going to be a lot more work, and there's a lot of workings going on there that will get in the way. So my idea is to put it into the door handle armrest somehow. This is the spot that I've got in mind, this spot here, because I reckon that'll be hollow in there, and should be able to fit the depth of that charger in there. Now I'm going to start with the door on the other side, so let's go and do that. Yeah. Okay, I've managed to get the whole handle assembly off. It's the armrest, just on the door like that. And let's go to the bench and have a look. That's the one. 32 millimeters. Perfect. Not the world's best hole saw device. It was about $8 from Bunnings, but I only have to make 2 holes and I'll probably never use it again after that. So it all fits together. Now the challenge is to get a hole through there, so you have to go through on an angle. Let's give it a go. What have we got to lose, eh? How about that, eh? Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, will it fit? Alright, so it's actually, the hole's a bit egg-shaped, but I could probably file it out if I need to. I'll just clean up the bits around the edge. Might turn out being easier than I thought it was going to be. Famous last words. Oh, look at that. It's inside there, see? That's the screw. The collar screws under it. Look at that. It's actually not bad. Might turn out to be the easy part. The hard part's probably going to be to tap into the wiring and get it actually to work, but at least we've got it in the door, and it's not going to be in the way of anything, because the fitting's on the bottom there. See, there's heaps of space under here, which is where the wiring's going to go, so nothing's going to get in the way. There's nothing else going on in here, so it should be fine. Alright guys, what I've managed to figure out through a bit of trial and error is there's a whole bunch of cables that come in. This is the power cables that come into the door, out through here, in through the hole in the side of the door there, and by just slitting open a couple of the wires and sticking the multimeter in there, I've managed to figure out which one has the juice, and I'll just show you that. So the ignition's on right now as if the engine was running, and there we go, 11.84 volts. I don't know if you can see it on the voltmeter there. That means there's power to this door while the engine's running, even without the power windows or the door locks being activated. I'm using one of these gadgets here to tap into the cable that's got the power. Alright, so I've got some nice heavy duty 15 amp power cable. Should be more than enough. Basically the idea is you just lay the two cables side by side in this thing here, and then you crunch it together and it all just joins them. I don't know if I can get the camera in close enough to show you here, so you're just going to have to take my word for it that it's happening. A bit like building a ship in a bottle, I think. Now I know how surgeons feel. Alright, so that's it there. I'll clamp it over. Make sure it's well and truly through both wires. And then this little thing here just clips over. Hold it together. I'll whack a bit of tape around that just to keep it all together. There we go. Alright, so I'll get a bit of tape in there just to clean it up. Alright, so this will just need to run up to the door here. But what I want to do is I'm going to make sure that the USB charger actually works before I put it all back together, because there's always a possibility that I didn't get a good connection. That much cable. Crush that. Alright, so now I'm going to go and turn the ignition on and make sure that that's live. Alright, so the ignition's on. If the plan is working, then this should have 12 volts on it right now. Let's find out. I like it when a plan comes together. You ready? Watch that. Touch it on the body of the car. There we go. We have juice. So that's good. Now I just need to make another little shorter cable and tap it into one of these points here where it's on the body for the earth, and we should be right. So I'm going to make a earth cable. It's going to have the prong fork bit on one end and the spade bit on the other end. A bit of black cable in between. And I figured out that this spade bit here will actually fit onto the mounting screw for the speaker in the door there. Squash. And then the fork in the other end. Squash that one. And they should be cooking with gas. So that's negative. Nice and tight going on, which is a good thing because they won't fall off. We'll be pounding along some corrugated track somewhere in the boonies. So then I'm just going to test this before I put it all back together. Alright, in theory, when I turn the ignition on, we should see something happen over here. So you guys wait there, I'll go and turn it on. So, no indication that it's actually working. Hope it doesn't ruin my iPhone. No good. Okay. Well, it's not working. So now the question is why not? Alright, we'll go back and start checking everything. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just make sure there's actually, or see if there's actually power at the USB. And there isn't, the power's not getting through the USB, which means this is probably not earth. That's alright, because that's a pretty easy fix. This one up here, you see that one on the door handle there, it might be a better one. Try again. Anything on fire? Oh, look. You see that? We have power. So that was the problem, we wasn't getting a good earth. So it's telling me there's 11.8 volts at that point, which is what's coming from the battery. Phone is charging. It's all good. Try the other port. Boom. Job done. Let's go put it all back together. Alright, there we go. Fits nicely in there. There you go guys, that was actually pretty straightforward really. Obviously if you've got a different vehicle, it'll be slightly different, but fundamentally it's going to be the same thing. Find the power for the power windows, tap into that, and find somewhere to mount that USB socket in the back door, and your kids will thank you for it. Now, if you liked the video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more videos from me, I've got heaps more in the pipeline that I'm working on. Hit subscribe and hit the little bell there so that you'll get a notification when it comes through. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.